What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Growing Organic. Today I will be building shelves along here to create some more space for my container plants. I could be growing plants all along here. Right now all I have is these plants are growing from the other side of the fence and just little succulents stuff, little succulents here, but really it's not being used. This is a sunny, very sunny area, not being used for growing your garden. So down here I have a few trees on the ground, which it's nice to have things connected to the dirt. They always seem to do better when they're sitting on the actual dirt, but if you want to maximize your growing space, you can have all types of potted plants all the way along here, growing up as high as really you want. You could grow stakes, bamboo. So I'm basically adding, I think this is 3 feet, 36 inches of height. I still have room down here underneath if I wanted to set some more pots, but it's really just a decorative plants right now. You can see I have these flowers. So let's continue getting some more width on this. I want these can blow over in the wind. Plus, these are not going to be here much longer. These will be transplanted into a 5-gallon. These tomatoes. So, but you can see over here, I already got the piece of wood. This piece of wood is going to fill in here. You can see I'm going to cut it at a 45-degree cut here. Piece it in. This will give me more of the morning sun. You can see right now it's getting cut off, but in the morning, this whole area is really sunny, so I could actually be growing a bunch of plants right up here. So this is a way to maximize your growing space, is always thinking about growing vertically. That's the most important thing in an urban, small garden. So I got to cut this piece of wood so it fits in here. I'm going to make it be flush to the top of this, and then extend along here more wood so I can stack plants all the way along the top of this, because down below you can see I have more of just a pathway so I can access all these fruit trees, apples, peaches, my orange. And down here, see I'm taking up a lot of space on the ground, which is fine. You see this time of day it's getting a lot of sun, but in another hour or so you can see right here the sun's going to get cut off right here. But if it's higher up, you can get another hour or two out of the sunlight. Little crystal there. And also when the plants are on the ground like that, see, I don't know if you can see that down there, but last night a snail ate my pinto bean plant right overnight. These guys sneak in. Here's one that hasn't been eaten. It rained for like 2 days straight. They ate some of my snap peas, which are right there. But you can see he almost ate the entire pinto bean plant. So you got to keep an eye on that. That's why it's good sometimes to keep small plants off the ground, anything that the snails like, or make sure you exterminate all the snails, at nighttime. Check on your garden, because they're crawling around at nighttime, especially when it rains. So I have a lot more walking space when I can get stuff up off the ground. So let's get to this cutting. I got my tools out. I got some of my drills and my screws and tape measures, pencils. I'll get my saw. We'll go ahead and mount this piece in. Look at, there's a snail right there, by the way. See these guys crawl around, they'll eat everything. So you want to keep track of this at nighttime. Come out here around like 10 o'clock at night a couple times and just search your garden, because these guys will be crawling up onto your plants, eating it. So take it to another part of the garden far away from your plants. So we'll cut this piece of wood. You can see it's just a leftover piece of wood. I'll cut it at a 45, the same angle as this. And let's go ahead and get this going so we can get a little more workspace as well. It gives you kind of like a little garden workspace too, so you're up off the ground, you're not bending over. So you can make things as wide as you want it, but I'll probably have to put a post going down, vertical. If it's extending out a long distance, the farther you go out, you don't want to put too much weight on it and then have whatever your fence or whatever could tip over. So make sure you have enough structural support, and the weight factors too. Think about how much weight you have, so you might need some vertical supports. But I think it's always nice to grow vertically and maximize your growing space, because right now this whole area is not really being used. You can see now the sun is really popping out. It was kind of overcasted, but so that's kind of my grow area. I got another long this is called a 2x6. Just I do construction, so I always have extra lumber, so I like to put this to use. Build planters. I did another video on building planters in my front yard. So just your standard Doug for lumber, inexpensive at any store. You can reuse this stuff. It's really good. I did concrete forms. So let's get started on this and build this really quickly, and you can see what it's going to look like. The thing to do is cut this at a 45 degree. This is a 45, so I want to maximize this wood here. So you're going to mark right down like that. All right, let's go ahead and cut that. Okay, so I got my piece of wood here. I want it to fit right under this fence here. Every situation is different, but so I'll fit that against there. You can see I got to still notch it to go underneath this, so I'm going to just hold that. I'm going to mark underneath this angle. Okay, so I got this cut. Okay, both sides, didn't even have to measure it. Got another 45 over here after that. And look how nicely this will fit. Perfect flush on top. So now we're just gonna go ahead and screw this off. Let's go ahead and put a screw in right here. Also, I want to show you guys, when you're putting screws in, this is the size you want to use. It's called a 5/32. Perfect size for screws, for pre-drilling, so it doesn't split. All right, so I'm gonna make sure it's flush right there. I'm gonna go in 90 degrees, so when I put the screw in, it'll sit flat. Again, make sure it's flush. If you have to use a clamp, and just put the screw in for aesthetic reasons. Just make it flush. Don't sink it in. That's professional right there. All right, over here. Now I just got to put a screw in from the bottom and hold that up. So that's looking nice already. Look at how much more space I have. All right, let's put a screw from under here now. All right, so we're gonna put this one in. Okay, look at this. It just took like a couple minutes. got a lot more space here. So let's extend another piece over here. You can see down here it's already getting shady. So it's about 3 o'clock. You can see where the shadow is. We're losing sunlight, so this is a reason to build off the ground. You can see where it's casting that shadow right now. So I got my skill saw, just a standard 45-degree mark. This square is a 45, so you just slide it right up to there. And just mark that. Now we got a piece. Let's go ahead and take it over. Also, I want to show you guys these. These are probably the cheapest. Some of the cheapest brackets you can buy. They're only like probably less than $1. Here, I might need a little support under here if I wanted to. I'll go long part down and simply just slide it up. I'll put the screw into the top ones first to make sure it's tight, and then put it into here. So I want to show you as well. So this is the piece that I cut off that was here. You can see. So now this piece, instead of throwing this out, now what you can do, let me show you something. Okay, so I cut a perfect triangle now, 45 degrees. That'll help hold everything up. That screw will be mounted right into the side of this, so this will give it a little extra support when I put this 2x6 on. So I could probably do about 4 of these maybe. I'm going to attach this. Alright, that's nice and snug. I could probably put another screw angle it right through there and hold that against. Okay, so you can see right here, made a 45, so I'm making 2 more triangles. I got to do just 2 cuts, 1 cut, and then a straight one there. Okay, so here are pieces. One of these broke. You can see I'll just toss that away. So we got 3 of these angle pieces. I'll put them along here. This one, they came out a little smaller, but this will still work. This was a little skinnier piece of wood. That should still be sufficient for what we're doing. So I'll probably put these every 3 or 4 feet. More the better. You don't want any sagging in your wood. I'd say 3 feet. So let's go ahead and put these in. I can cut as many as I want, really. It doesn't take much lumber. Very inexpensive way to build up your garden, create more growth space, take advantage of more sun. The higher you are in elevation is always better, because there's houses, buildings, trees, fences that are always going to be blocking your light. So you can see right now I'm losing a lot of light from some trees. You can see there's trees right there in a telephone pole. So that's not ideal. I would almost like to trim some. I think they're supposed to get rid of the telephone poles anyway, but could trim part of that tree down halfway. Along that fence though, it's a very hot area the whole summer long. So I know from living here that this whole area remains sunny and hot along this edge, and I want to take advantage of that and grow upward. Get some space off the ground. I don't want to have to be leaning over all the time and taking up space, valuable real estate space on the ground where you could be using it for other things. You can see here I got 3 more of these made. I'm basically laying these out every 32 inches. I got a mark right here, so that should be sufficient. If I don't put too much weight on this wall, you don't want it to tip over. But if your wall is solid and it's wide enough and enough support, I might put a post way at the end to keep any tilting. So we don't want tilting effect. So let's get all these. So you can see I got all these ready to go. So let's go ahead and screw these in. All right, take a look at this. Boom, boom. That looks pretty nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's gonna connect about right here. This one, it's pretty solid. I wanna do one more. I need one more at the very end. So we'll cut one more and then this thing will be ready for installation. The top cap, that 2x6. All right, this is looking good. Again, the reason I don't like verticals, too many vertical supports going downward, because what you're gonna do is end up blocking, putting something down on the ground. You're losing your footing. It's like a toe kick under a cabinet. You wanna have room to stand and not have to worry about kicking a post or sweeping around a wood post. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna put a screw at an angle. I pre-drilled all these already. Let's go to each one of these. We are ready to go ahead and put the 2x4 up on top of here, the 2x6. Now it's just a matter of getting this piece put in. I kind of want to move this out of the way right now. It's kind of keeps getting in the way. I got every 32 inches. So it's about 12 feet all the way to here. So that's going to give me a lot more space here. Let's go ahead and put it in. Let me show an easy way to fix this right here. That doesn't look good. You want to have so you can see it's tight here. A gap over here, that's not good. I'm going to take this, slide it up against here, make a mark here. So it's making a parallel mark to that. So now that is your correct angle. So I'll continue that line over, cut that, and that should fit perfectly. I want to leave a gap here because this is curved. I'm kind of splitting the difference so I don't have a huge gap way down there. So that part's fine. I just want this to be clean so I can put a new screw in and this will be a nice clean angle. All right, so I got this cut, the right angle on here. I'm gonna go ahead and drag this down. Watch how good this is gonna fit. I got this flushed up here. I'm gonna finish screwing this in. Okay, so right in here where each one of these little triangle supports are, I'm going to put a screw, not towards the outside here. That's going to keep it tight against this side. Really only need one screw, but this is where the meat of the wood is, so it's going to have a better bite. Okay, now I'm doing another screw, but not too close to the edge because really there's not as much meat in the wood towards the end. So I'm going to keep it back about 2.5 inches or so. If you have a level, you can level this as well. Make sure, in case you got to shim it from underneath to level this out. But that's looking pretty good to eye. Look at that. I still got a lot of foot space down here, so my feet still have room to walk if I'm standing here. Or I could leave more plants down here, like some other shade tolerant plants like lettuces and kale and stuff like that that can handle less, doesn't need as much full sun. So that's coming together. Let's look underneath. Oh, that's looks pretty cool. Very cool. There you go. Didn't take too long a time. Really easy, very cheap, cost effective. Cutting these little triangles, and they're really strong. All right, well, enjoy building your shelving if you're going to do that. It's all types of things you can do if you get creative. So it's good to be self-sufficient and just make your space a lot easier to work with. Building things up at a waist level, it makes stuff like these little things a lot easier to deal with and work on when you're not fighting it, leaning over and having to be on your knees, or so gives you a lot of options. All right, well, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, click like, and we'll see you guys on the next video.